Welcome back to day 5. My name is Dustin Wine, Team USA Libero, 10-year professional. And today we're going to talk about digging above the waist. Something that, really isn't taught. Really isn't. Playing pro, playing with Team USA, playing my youth club, it wasn't taught ever. But you know what? Sometimes we're going to have to dig balls above the waist. We can't control the attack or how the line is coming at us, but what we can do is begin to develop some different tools, some different ways to play defense. Be more creative, because again, we're not going to be able to control how the ball comes at us, but we can control how we react. Let's get to it. Down or up? If we are able to perceive the line of attack as low, great. We can keep our arms down and spend the rest of our time working to contact the ball in front of our body while getting our hips behind the ball, resulting in hopefully a great dig. But what happens when we recognize the ball is too high for us to react for a platform? It depends, as I believe it is up to us to create a toolbox with many styles to choose from, and our ability to be creative and to find solutions with little to no time to respond to awkward and difficult circumstances. Let's begin. Let's create that toolbox. Arms bent, shoulder distance, tight to your midline. The easiest transition to digging with our hands, whether your palms are up or down, it really doesn't matter, as the movement will be initiated with our elbows in an upward motion. Try it out. Put your right arm out like you're about to dig a low driven ball, and with your left arm, nudge your right elbow upward until your right arm is above your head. It's that easy. Now, if you want to practice with both arms, the movement is initiated with the shoulders as your elbows and wrists stay locked in place. Remember, simplicity. Our ability to transition to a platform dig into an overhead dig is from our ability to rotate our shoulders upward. Not only do great defenders need to be quick, but we also must be creative, as we're going to face many situations, and for whatever reason, we will not have the space or time to respond, leaving us only the option to react and be creative. Arms bent outside the knees. With your starting position to dig with your platform outside your knees, the simplest movement to put yourself in a position to dig overhead is with movement generated by our elbows. With this position, we are not as strong as our first option, as our elbows are outside our body, and because of this angle, we are more likely to lose the ball through our thumbs. Let me explain why. Just as a platform dig, where we want to get our body behind it, we must also work with any overhead dig, as we will have to do two things to accomplish a great overhead dig. 1, absorb the power of the hit with our hands and not letting the ball go through. 2, generate power from our legs to lift the ball as high as we can. The first test is where many fail, as there are so many moving parts when we dig overhand compared to when we dig with our platform. Because our platform is strong, sturdy, and if our hips are behind the ball, it will act just like a backboard. With the correct angle, it's easy and easily replicated in our ability to dig. If we dig overhand and our thumbs are pointed at each other and our elbows are pointed to the sides, as many people are taught to set, we immediately complicate the process and allowing first the wrist and then the elbows to be compromised and to give way. Remember, we want to be a backboard. This is when you see the ball blast through the fingers or under the thumbs. Let's be more efficient. Let's dig more. The first way to be more efficient is to have our arms start within our body. All we have to do to react to the ball that is driven high is initiate movement with our shoulders. Our final position has our left thumb facing 1 o'clock on a clock and our right thumb facing 11 o'clock. Instead of our elbows facing towards the side, 3 or 9 o'clock, they are down, both facing 6 o'clock to give you a better picture. With this posture, our elbows and our wrists are locked in, leaving us free of any vulnerable movement from our elbows and wrists upon a powerful attack. Now that we have the hands intact to absorb the speed and power of the attack, we must make sure we are able to use the power from the ground via our legs to push the ball up into the air. As if we were performing an Olympic lift, a squat, or power clean, we want to have our legs primed to explode upon contact with our hands. It won't always be possible to have our legs there, as there will be times where we will have to jump or lean to the side, but we must fight to have as much strength in our legs as possible upon contact, as this is where we will take the most strength and power to lift the ball as high as possible, allowing our setter to get under the ball. If we are able to be strong with our legs, our elbows can naturally finish the job in guiding the ball with precision, rather than having to be the source of strength and power. The further the ball gets outside of our body, on our left to the right, the more strength we will naturally lose from our legs and from our last hope of strength, our elbows. Digging with hands, in essence, really isn't digging with our hands. It is a pursuit of bodying up the ball and using our hands as a backstop, using the ground via our legs to absorb the power and lift the ball. The two priorities we should fight for are: 1, limiting the amount of fluctuation and movement with our wrist and elbow. This is why the ball finds holes through our hands and leaves us wondering why we weren't able to dig the ball successfully. And 2, working relentlessly to get our body and legs under the ball, as we will be able to use our legs to propel the ball off our hands and into the air as high as possible. Let's dig with our chest, why not? Let's add another tool in our defensive toolbox, as this is one of my favorite ways to dig, and it is rarely taught at the amateur or the professional level. As I mentioned, it's tough, but we have to fight the natural urge to release the legs on balls that are high, as it will only put us in an awkward and vulnerable position to dig. I believe we must stay in our athletic position, and from there we can be creative and find solutions with little to no time to respond to awkward and difficult circumstances. Our ability to be a great defender shouldn't be determined on a perfect circumstance. Adding to the toolbox, let's learn how to dig effectively with our chest and how we can be more confident with balls coming powerful and high at our midsection. Here are the 4 keys to keep in mind. We find ourselves in this ambiguous area where the ball is coming fast at our chest. 1, keep the hips back. If we do get caught real quick, we can throw our hips forward, as we will have to create the angle solely with our chest. But for now, we want to keep them back to make a play on the ball with a combination with our hands and chest. 2, slide your arms up tight to the body. Once you notice it's coming in that awkward position, bring the hands tight to the body and slide them up quick. 3, wrap one hand on top of the other. No need to interlace them, but make sure they're solid. 4, dig the ball close to your chest, into your chest. Sounds wild, right? This is something you'll have to practice a lot outside of team training, but you can see when done properly, the ball will bounce off your chest with backspin, straight up into the air, if not a little bit behind you. Perfect, right? That's exactly what we want. If we don't have time to get your hands up, we can be aggressive in tilting our chest more towards the sky, throwing our hips in front of us, making our body the platform of choice, springing the ball high up on our side of the net. Awesome. More tools in your toolbox to work on and to allow you to be a great defensive player no matter what situation you find yourself in. I'm so fired up to have you back tomorrow, as we will look to crush day 6 and learn more about digging with one arm and how we can be great in even more compromising situations. Better today, better tomorrow, better together. See you tomorrow.